Some international news now on the midday view. The anti-Taliban National Resistance Front claims that the Taliban has taken that the Taliban has taken complete control of Panjshir province are false. Panjshir is the last province held by the resistance. They say their forces remain present there in all strategic positions across the valley. The NRF maintains that the struggle against the Taliban will continue until justice and freedom prevail. The Taliban is expected to announce its government in the next few days, though. Well, let's get the latest now. I'm joined by Professor Victoria Fontan, who is the Vice President of the American Affairs at the American University of Afghanistan. She's coming to us live now currently from Sulaimania in the Kurdistan region of Iraq. Ma'am, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time here on the Midday View. Welcome to eNCA. Just first up, is the National Resistance Front telling it like it is? Has the Taliban not taken control, as they claim, of Panjshir province? What is the latest you can tell our viewers?
Good afternoon. Well, the Taliban have suffered heavy losses since they have tried to take over the Panjshir region for the past 3 days. This region is the last of the 34 provinces in Afghanistan to be free of Taliban rule. It is true that the Taliban have advanced on the road into the Panjshir region. They have shelled the population quite heavily, but both sides have suffered heavy losses. What is obvious and what is true is that they claim they control the region, but they do not control it. The Russians have made that claim 5 times over in the 1980s. They have taken some parts of the region, but they never controlled it all, and they never took it for very long. So it remains to be seen if the Taliban, even though they have advanced within the region, are going to be able to hold it and control it for a sustained period of time.
So we should expect the conflict there to continue for a number of days. And that makes me wonder whether or not the Taliban for the rest of Afghanistan will be able to impose its government that they expected to be announced in the next few days.
Well, many observers think indeed that the government has not been announced yet because of the Taliban offensive in Panjshir. The government, the new government, felt that they would be able to dominate Panjshir a lot earlier. And so as the days go, there is more and more opposition within the Taliban movement and more different factions that are starting to fight one another. So that delay in taking Panjshir and also announcing government is not going to be quite positive for the sustainability of the Taliban presence in government, and for them to really demonstrate to the population that, number one, they can govern, and most importantly, they can sustain security throughout the country.
So currently on the ground, the situation, one could say, remains volatile and uncertain in terms of the Taliban having a tight grip on power in Afghanistan. Is that a wrong reading of the situation?
Well, I would say that the factions are starting to disintegrate within Kabul. And at the same time, of course, there is no strong grip over Panjshir. There is also a strong ethnic repression of Tajik minorities, specifically in Kabul and in the larger cities in Afghanistan. So many observers have said that if this continues, and if this fluctuating situation continues, there could be the emergence of a civil war, because let us remember that the Tajik population of Afghanistan makes 1/4 of the country. They're the largest minority, and the fact that they are being targeted by the Taliban right now does not bode well for the future of their government, and then, of course, an inclusive government within Afghanistan itself.
So life is not yet about to return to normal for the majority of the people of Afghanistan?
Definitely not. There are many checkpoints. There are also many raids throughout cities, and it's even worse in the countryside. Government raids against different parts of the population that are not identified as sympathizers. And so as the situation unfolds on the ground, there is more and more insecurity for the people being felt. The economy is at a standstill. There are large queues to even withdraw money, certain low sums of money at the banks. So it's really difficult right now. The life is difficult for the people in Afghanistan.
And finally, and very briefly, Professor, any signs of any foreign troops after the Americans left Afghanistan, other than from the US? Anybody else on the ground from what you are hearing?
No, apart from, of course, some claims of Pakistani troops, since Pakistan has been claimed to be a supporter of the Taliban, and that is, of course, unverified. So this is the only foreign presence that could be thought of at this moment.
Professor, I look forward to talking to you again in the near future here on the Midday View on eNCA. That's Victoria Fontan. She's a professor, vice president of American Affairs at the American University of Afghanistan, just giving us the latest from the ground regarding what's happening in Afghanistan. She was talking to us live from Sulaimania in Iraq, which is a region there of the Kurdistan.